Hey everyone, how is it going? Today's tutorial is about INGenious, a low-code, no-code open-source test automation tool used by ING Bank. INGenious under the hood uses Playwright and Selenium, and it can be used for browser automation, mobile, API, message, database, accessibility, and much more. As prerequisite, you will need Java 11 or above, Maven, and an IDE like Visual Studio Code, IntelliJ, and so on. The installation implies downloading a file and extracting the zip. INGenious supports Windows, Mac, or Ubuntu, and you can launch it by following these commands. INGenious interface looks like this. The first step is creating a new project. I already created a project called RV demo. The next step is creating a web automated test regarding a login scenario. The easiest way to do it is by using the codegen feature of Playwright. It means that we will open a browser, access the app, perform the login, and all these steps that we are performing will be recorded by INGenious in real time. To open a browser for recording purposes, click this button. It will open a Chromium browser and the Playwright inspector that will show our actions in real time. Access the QA practice demo application. And let's do the login flow. Great! The code snippet for our test is complete, and the next step implies copying this code and saving it in a new text file. I recommend saving the text file in INGenious projects, RV demo, and here. Right click new text document. I'm going to call it login and paste the code snippet. Save the file and close it. Let's close the browser as well. Let's import that text file into INGenious. Go to Tools, Import Playwright Recording, and select your text file. The test was imported, and here we can see all the test steps. In the right side of the screen, if we expand the test, we will see all the HTML elements used by the test steps. We also have the power to rename these objects or change their selectors. For example, I want to rename this submit into submit button. Right click on it, rename object, set submit button, and it also was updated in the table as well. Great. We also have the play button, and it will be used to run the tests. However, if we right click on it, we have the ability to choose the preferred browser. I will set Chromium. If I click the play button, the test will get executed. By the end of test execution, a report will be displayed. We have a lot of details and our test login. It was very fast and the status is pass. If we click the test case, we will see more details about each test step. Great. Here are two important buttons. The first button with an arrow represents the browser configuration. Click on it, go to Manage Browsers, choose your preferred browser, which is Chromium in my case, and here we have the ability to change the default timeout or set its headless status. It can be true or false. Pick your options and click Save. The other button is regarding the running settings. Here we can set the parallel execution to be one or multiple threads, some configs regarding the screenshot, the retry mechanism, and also some reporting options. And here we have the option to enable the videos or the trace, which is a Playwright feature. Save the file, and that's it. Simple, isn't it? Analyzing the test steps, there are some redundant steps that we can remove, right? For example, we could fill the information into the email field without clicking it. So I am going to delete this third step. Right click on it and click delete row. The same goes for the password field. I'm going to delete the click action that happens just before the filling action. Delete rows. As you can see, each test step implies an action. We have the ability to change these actions. For example, we perform the login, and the final step implies a click on the logout button. As a good approach and a recommendation, every test should have an assertion. So let's change that. Instead of clicking the logout button, I want to assert that the logout button is visible. I'm going to double click the action and search for assert element is visible. Great. Now the test respects all the good practices. I'm going to run the test one more time. It was very fast and the test passed. Great. In the left side section of the screen, we have some reusable components that can be used later on to store some test logic that can be reused in multiple tests. Apart from that, if we hover the left side menu, we will see multiple buttons. Let's go to the button that's in the middle. This interface is regarding test execution. It's a great feature that allows us to create a release and attach a new test set to this release. And in this new test set, we have the ability to select only some specific tests that are going to be executed from the entire test suite. Let's imagine that we have 50 tests, and in this new test set we can pick only 5 from these 50 that are going to be executed. So we created a new test set, and in test scenario we're going to pick login and a browser. And using this new test set, we can click play and the magic will happen. Great. The test passed. Another important thing is to see how we can run these tests from command line interface. Having the new test set created is really simple. Right click on it, click get command line syntax. The syntax has been copied to clipboard, and this is how the command looks like. Run, project location, release and test set. Great. The final thing that I want to show you is how a failed test looks like. Hover the left side of the screen, go to the first button and look into our test steps. Each test step has an input. For example, the filling password field uses this input column, and in order to force the test to fail, I'm going to type a wrong password. Update the input value with a wrong password, save the file and run the test again. Let's see what happens. It's trying to log in. The logout button is no longer displayed. Instead, we receive a bad credentials message. The test is using the default timeout, which I think it's 30 seconds, hoping that the logout button will get displayed. Let's wait a bit more, and at some point the test should fail. Great. The test failed and the HTML report has been displayed, and this time we have 0 passed tests and 1 failed test. The login test case status failed, and if we click the test case name, we will see that we have a failed test step. On the assert element is visible step, saying that the unique element logout not found on the page. It waited indeed for 30 seconds and it was unable to find the logout button visible. So the test failed. Here we have the fail status, and if we click the fail status, we will see a screenshot of the application. Apart from this, for an enhanced debugging process, we also have the video. Great. That's it. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. Happy testing!